Alright, we're here for another Casual Geographic video. This one being the most generational crashouts in the animal kingdom, so this should be very interesting. So, well, I got nothing else to say, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Oh, what the fuck was he on? He's on some big animal. Regardless, that is not a situation I want to be in. You know, it's actually ironic because I just had I just woke up from a dream where I almost fell into like a damn swamp lake or whatever, and then I had to climb up into a tree, and then all of a sudden a fucking tiger's there. I'm like, how did that tiger get here? And then now I'm looking at this. Jesus. Oh yeah, and I've seen this. I think a lot of us have seen this. Goose gonna fly right in front of a car. There it goes.
Crashout. Here's the definition, and here's the...
Oh, goddammit, I missed.
Crashout. Here's the...
Yeah, I need to know the definition of this, because I've heard it, I don't know what it is. Alright. Someone who's constantly on the verge of losing their shit and is ready to throw everything away at a moment's notice. I think we've all had a crash out moment, or at least I have before. Oh Lord, now I'm curious to see how all this is gonna go, because yeah, the last one definitely was a crash out.
Definition, and here's the definition, but in picture.
Yeah.
If it's not clear now, it will be by the end of this video.
Right.
Crashouts exist in all walks of life. You know what they say. Where there's
Jesus. That fucking video with the...
Now, it will be by the end of this video.
I know this isn't a good thing, but just appreciate the lunge, like, or specifically the form of it, because, like, that was, like, a good lunge.
Crashouts exist in all walks of
Like,
life.
damn.
You know what they say.
Like, goddamn.
Where there's a will, there's a way for a Chris to get rocked by a Fresh Prince flick of the wrist. But today, we're going to talk about the biggest crashouts in nature.
The fuck
There's
did
a
I
lot
get
to
bit by? I want to go back. What did I get bit
flick
by?
of the wrist. But today, we're going to...
I saw like a glimpse of it, but it was very blurry, so I'm probably not gonna be able to know what it was. Hold on, let me see if I... Is that a... Yeah, I don't know. I can say I don't know. If I had to take a guess at either, I'm gonna assume that it's either a raccoon, a mongoose, some small animal. I don't know.
Hey, we're going to talk about the biggest...
Regardless, it clearly wasn't having any of this monkey shit.
Crashouts in nature, and there's a lot to choose from, so some had to get left off. I won't be talking about hippos, honey badgers, or Cape buffalo.
Okay.
I've said my piece on this roid-raging homicidal hydro horse on steroids.
Yeah.
We already know Africa's Black Death is a hunter's nightmare for humans and lions alike.
Jesus.
And I have an entire video on this biracial Black Air Force hate-mongering Hufflepuff.
Those were all very good videos, and yes, I've seen many of them. Yeah.
But what I will talk about are rhinos. Because I've said that rhinos are legally blind, terminally traumatized, anxiety.
Oh hell, nah. That is not a sight I want to be. That person is probably fucked.
Anything from a butterfly to a buffalo.
Never mind. They missed entirely, but still. That is scary as hell to be in.
And terminally traumatized anxiety tanks that'll buck up to anything from a butterfly to a buffalo. Except I was wrong. Recent studies show that the eyesight of rhinos might not even be that bad. It's just their attitude. Which means that rhino fully punted a warthog purposely unprovoked, while this one perceived an assault on 8 wheels and still went for a literal headshot. There's a reason why a group of rhinos is an honest-to-God crash, but they're not even the biggest crashouts in Africa. That would be elephants. Like literally, they're the biggest. Whoever made this up actively helped escort people off the census, which...
Oh, damn it, I missed it.
Like literally, they're the biggest. Whoever made this up...
Elephant brain react to humans the same way that humans' brain react to puppies. They think we're cute. My life has had no greater joy than knowing elephants think I'm cute. Okay.
Actively helped escort people off the census, which they don't need help doing since elephants flatlined over 600 people last year. But it isn't until elephants hit must that they really become crash-out kings. Must is when a sudden burst of hormones turns elephants into 12,000-pound drunk lusting frat boys. The word must even comes from the word intoxicated, and a down bad bull's testosterone levels can spike 60 times higher than normal. And that's where the crash-out comes in.
Jesus, and now it's attacking a giraffe. Jesus, it's like... Alright, here's your hormones. It's also going to put you into like a natural drunken state for a while where you're going to go nuts on everything.
No animal is safe from an entitled elephant that can't handle rejection. Not even baby elephants.
Jesus.
Eating a toddler because his mom won't relieve you? Crash out. But the real degeneracy didn't show itself until humans got involved.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, it's that kind of story. Poaching is evil, we all know it, and it's often the older, more mature bulls that get hit the hardest, for obvious reasons. What wasn't expected was removing elephant OGs from the population meant that the younger, immature teenage bulls and musk got even more out of pocket. And what do you get when you have unruly 6-ton pests with no father figure to keep them in line?
Oh, good lord. That is... What is with me pausing on the most cursed frames? How many times has this happened? Come on!
Hell if I know. There was a period in the 90s where 3 young bulls that got rejected by their own kind, resorting to...
See, I didn't even remember what I was going to say there because of that. I was going to say something, but I don't even remember what I was going to say because of that. Like, come on! I swear, I need to make, like, a compilation of, like, the most cursed pause moments I've had in these reaction videos, because it's like, oh my god. Like, it happens more often than you think. Oh, Jesus.
Violating and killing not 1, not 2, not 10, but 63 rhinos.
Jesus.
Fatherless behavior for an elephant apparently means turning a rhino from a tight end to a whiteout, and it wasn't until the seasoned, more mature bulls were brought back in that the rhino ravaging eventually stopped. And it's not just males that can choose violence. We can't forget that time an elephant traveled across India just to life-deprive a 70-year-old senior citizen while she was getting water. For context, that elephant escaped from the Dulma Wildlife Sanctuary and traveled over 100 miles to the Rapai village in Malaysia. Being homicidal for over 100...
Man, it was personal, wasn't it? I had to go that far. Like, they were pissed off, and it was very personal. Yeah, Jesus, personally pissed off. They were pee-peed. Jesus.
100-mile straight is already menace behavior.
Yeah.
What solidified it was that same herd pulling up to that woman's funeral later that day and paying everything but respects. And that same elephant grabbed her soul-evacuated 0 HP body and proceeded to put her in the negatives. Basically, she got put on a shirt, except the shirt was reversible. And after desecrating her corpse, dessert was destroying the woman's house along with several others.
Jesus.
Now, many have said the woman Maya Murmu had it coming and was involved in poaching, and this was a case of an elephant not forgetting or forgiving. It also could have been someone's grandmother getting murked twice and memed on Twitter all because of RNG. We'll never know the why, but what we do know is my favorite animal is capable of crashouts of catastrophic proportions.
Oh, yeah.
And now we got the smallest crashout in the world. When a colony of Calabopsis saundersea ants gets attacked, some of the soldiers will rupture 2 huge poison-filled glands and literally blow themselves up. They don't just seppuku themselves, they also rain a toxic corrosive glue that either traps the op ants in place or just burns them alive. It's self-sacrificing altruistic behavior meant to
Basically, we got an ant that's part bomb. Now I'm thinking of Ant-Man. Why didn't Ant-Man use these? Like, you just have walking bombs now.
defend the colony, but that is one hell of an escalation. One species of termite also has a concept of kamikaze themselves, and they have toxic glands that actually grow as they get older. That means the same old worker termites with dull mandibles that can't fight or forage as well as their juniors also carry the most potent explosive backpacks in the colony. So their last act of service involves eviscerating themselves in a rain of internal organs, intestines, and toxins, which proves that the most dangerous crashout is the one with nothing left to lose. For reference, that's like breaking into a house and the last thing you see is a senile 90-year-old rushing you with a bomb strapped to their chest. But the wildest crashout might be what P-aphids do once a predator breaks into their home, because not only will soldiers come together and turn themselves into fleshy fireworks, they'll use their own bodily fluids to plug up the opening. Even if it means they get left outside in past tense, even if it means they suffocate on their own insides, and even if the process senses subtracts them instantly. It's one thing to self-destruct to backpedal a predator, or even after already being eaten, which aphids actually do. Using Flex Seal made out of your own guts for home repair is exactly the type of behavior this video is about. But if elephants violating the natural order didn't already tell you, the worst crashouts are the ones humans created. And this Black Air Force B is the result of one of the biggest oopsies in human history. Back in the 50s, African bees were brought to Brazil and crossbred with their more domesticated European cousins. The idea was, if they could combine the two, they could create a bee that was more efficient than the Europeans in tropical climates, while also being less defensive than the African counterpart.
And I'm guessing it didn't go so well, did it? We tried playing, well, I guess you can't really call this playing God, but... Orca did? I don't know. Regardless, I imagine this didn't go so well at all.
But in one of the most consequential f***ups possible, a local beekeeper accidentally released 26 swarms of Africanized bees, including queens. But experts said not to worry, that the bees would either die out in the foreign climate or get bred out of existence by the already present European bees.
And let me guess, they did not.
Yes, but actually no.
By the
Yep,
60s, they
possible.
made it across the country. By the 80s, they hit Mexico. By the 90s, they were popping up in the US. And today, the Africanized assault has spread throughout America like a rageaholic rash. And here's the thing with playing God with bees. You better be prepared for hell. These Africanized bees were
Okay, I guess you can't call it playing God then. Okay, I guess I was right.
way meaner than anything this side of the Atlantic had ever seen. They were way more aggressive, much less forgiving, and the same honey merchants that were enough to legitimately punk elephants, that's not a joke by the way, were doing numbers on unsuspecting
Fun fact, elephants are so afraid of bees, they have a specific call to warn the herd of their presence. Okay.
people. You see, where European bees might send 10 to 20 guard
Farmers have also used the sound of bees to keep elephants away from their fields. Smart.
bees after you, the Africanized flying mob will pull up in the hundreds. And where European bees might chase you for a couple feet,
Yeah, like I see some of those videos where like people are like in a bee suit and they're like taking out like some huge nest or whatever, and the swarms are crazy. And I'm just like, nah, you will not. And I'm just like, the suit just doesn't seem like enough. You need to bring a flamethrower and just Ellen Ripley this shit. Like, nah. Like, Jesus Christ.
African variety will chase trespassers for a quarter of a mile, assuming you even get that far. The irony is, African bees have smaller hives. That means these gangflies weaponize a higher percentage of their hive just to go after you. Add the fact that the very smell of bee venom is like a Batman signal to the rest of the hive, and you realize just how badly that one beekeeper screwed us over.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of venom, you probably know that honeybees die after stinging, since the stingers are barbed and attached to their abdomen, causing attacking bees to literally disembowel themselves.
Guessing that doesn't happen with these ones.
What you might not know is that stinger will continue pumping venom into you long
Oh.
after the bee has become a was.
Never mind.
Now that's just doing the most.
Yeah.
That's how you get stories of people being chased by vindictive swarms. Oh, and by the way, it's proven if you try to duck the fate by jumping in the water, they will wait. Sometimes with fatal consequences.
Hey, wait.
Duck the fate by jumping in the water, they
An 81-year-old man is miraculously on the mend after nearly 1,000 bees stung his body while he was farming on his Texas property. Thomas Mizzle of Cleveland was alone on the farm when he was attacked on June 26. His daughter, Tresha Holt, told Fox 26, he farms from dusk till dawn. Told him he was clearing out the land for a fence line, and all of a sudden he didn't know where they came from. The bees just attacked him. Mizzle saw a black cloud of bees surrounding me. He continued to the Advocate. I jumped off to the dozer, which happened to be in neutral, left and running, and took off through the woods, trying to make my way to a little lake I dug on the property. I said, "Lord, help me," when I fell down trying to get out of the bees. He said, "Walk by faith," so I did. My heart was pounding as I went toward that pond, still fighting bees. I jumped in the pond, but I could still hear the bees under the water. Mizzle didn't have his cell phone with him during the attack, and luckily his wife, Mary, suspected something was wrong. As the time of their lunch, their date was approached. Okay.
will wait.
Jesus Christ. The fact that they'll actually wait, though, like... Yeah, like, they mean business, then. And they're waiting. They are pissed off, and they mean business.
Sometimes with fatal consequences. In 2013, a Texas man died after being stung over 1,000 times, and the bee still had enough malice left over to leave his wife and daughter with 100 apiece. It says a lot that the dietary habits of the Crashout mascot might have helped create one of the most infamous crash crowds in the air. But not all Crashouts are fueled by hate. Some are powered by love. Courting bald eagles will interlock talons and plummet down towards the earth, only to separate at the last possible second. Because apparently feathery foreplay means death spiraling in a questionable game of chicken. Apparently, it's to test each other's
Good lord. Jesus.
fitness as a possible partner. You know, separate the strong from the strongest. Except it does the opposite when the entangled avians crash land into trees, water, or sometimes straight pavement and take each other out the dating pool. And bald eagles mate for life, so where do you even
Hey,
go?
let's go on a romantic date. We're gonna have a near-death experience first, okay? That's the very first thing we're gonna do. Jesus Christ.
After your vow renewal turns into a wake that only one of you is conscious for. A study showed that eagles will also death spiral with rivals, so it's really a case of either f me or fight me or just don't waste my time. That
Jesus Christ.
makes even less sense, because at least with a mate, the logic is you're trying to find the strongest, most eligible single to spend the rest of your life with.
I guess.
Ending death a 2-for-1 BOGO deal because you had beef and literally couldn't let it go is the definition of crashing out. At least
Oh, yeah. So it's like, are they fighting or are they fucking? Oh, Christ.
when it happens with deer like moose, you know it's really bad luck. But voluntarily interlocking toes just to die with someone you claim to hate, like what's really going on here? But that relationship's nowhere near as toxic as the house sparrows. It's like Tweety listened to NBA Youngboy. It's a honey badger with wings and an op to every other bird, but especially their own kind. Okay, so the crashing out is caused by the fact that house sparrows are monogamous and mate for life. They're also serial cheating air strumpets, and 15% of sparrow children born aren't even related to the male raising them. Cheating isn't a foreign concept to birds. Thoughts and prayers out to the
They ain't loyal. They ain't loyal then.
When that got dogged out, got his cloaca kicked by his wife's boyfriend, begged for her back, got beat again, only to get rejected and bust his the third time. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Yep. I said it once, I'll keep it, and I'll say it again. Birds are demons.
No way he goes out that sad. Male sparrows that suspect their partner of cheating get their revenge by purposely feeding their children less, bordering on starvation. The thing is, he has no way of knowing which chick's actually his. He only goes by how much time the mother spends away from the nest. Basically, imagine your dad starves you within an inch of your life, all because your mom spent the equivalent of 10 extra minutes at the grocery store. But female sparrows ain't sweet either. The difference is she cheats with better genetic quality, or you could say high value males, while the male cheats to spread his seed as far as physically possible.
Guess no one's loyal in that game. Damn. Must suck to be them birds. You get no loyalty.
Except that the female catches on to the cheating, she responds by slaughtering his entire family,
Damn.
children and all. And it's scientifically proven that butchering the babies offers no advantage to the offending female. It's just pure love of the game.
Wow. Wow, they really just said this doesn't benefit me or anything, but I'm gonna do it anyways just to piss you off, just to spite you. Jesus Christ.
Cheating's never right, but when your get back gets children buried, you have lost the plot.
Oh yeah.
Especially since the females most likely to commit baby cancellation are second wives. As in they got with the cheater, got with him due to cheating, only to wipe out the entire first family. Also, I just thought about it. She also has no way of knowing which chicks are his. That means she really just life retires any baby sparrow she comes across. Yeah, that's
Jesus Christ. So she just comes and says, I don't know which ones it is, but it is on site. And then, well, then they just started killing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, birds are demons.
a crash out of the highest order. And right up there with them has to be this frog. It's a culinary crash dummy off the fact that the Argentine horned frog would rather choke.
I don't know if my eyes are being stupid or if I'm just not getting a good look.
To be this frog.
Okay, I can see this.
It's a culinary crash dummy off the fact that the Argentine horned
Because to me, it looks like this motherfucker just opened its mouth and it's a giant eyeball, isn't it?
frog would rather choke to death trying to swallow something physically bigger than they are than just give it up. Scientists have found expired frogs with their stomachs torn open out of pure stubbornness. It's a gluttonous breathing pot of greed card come to life. Not only that, they're terrible swimmers, embarrassingly bad jumpers, and yo, they don't even rib it.
They don't. Not gonna lie, that would put me on edge so much if I was just walking around and I saw that thing and it was just doing that shit to me. That would put me on edge so much. Like, Christ.
Fool done sold every aspect of being a frog just to moonlight as Jabba the Gut. They can even develop amphibian corneal lipidosis,
Jabba the Gut, Jesus.
where they hold on to so much fat, they literally accumulate fat deposits on their eyes that blind them. To be fair, it's usually from overfeeding in captivity, but my brother in Christ, even Nakado Avocado put the fork down at some point. Especially since frogs can't vomit, the best this kitchen crash out can do is fully eject their stomachs. But luckily, they're not a threat to you. Next is a crash out that the majority of the American audience has to sidestep on a daily basis. Which is funny, because the Canada goose nearly got put on an eternal milk carton due to overhunting and habitat loss.
Yeah, well, with the way it was, how much of an asshole some gooses are, I think it would explain why some of them are overhunted then. I heard that right?
Because the Canada goose nearly got put on an eternal milk carton due to overhunting and habitat loss.
Yeah, well, you look at their attitude and you can understand why they're overhunted, honestly, because geese are assholes. Geese are fucking assholes. I almost got jumped by geese, by the way, one time. Do you know that? Like, I was out with my nana and her boyfriend at the time, and they were at like an apartment complex that he was at the time, living at the time, and there was a bunch of geese back there. They just went back to feed. Got ducks and geese. And we were just feeding them, and a bunch of geese were surrounding me whenever I was feeding them all, and I was like, oh, good lord, am I about to get fucking jumped? And I was like, you know, I'm gonna run. You guys have fun feeding them. I'm gonna run, because these guys look like they're about to jump me. Because Because they were approaching me even when I didn't have any more bread in my hands. I was like, nope, 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 nope. I'm getting the fuck out. I didn't get jumped, thankfully, but it looked like I was about to. Like, Jesus. And I was like, what, like fucking 11 or 12 when that happened? Jesus.
In fact, we fully thought they were out of stock in the 50s, until a small flock was found in Rochester, Minnesota. And with the help of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act in the US and the Migratory Birds Convention Act in Canada, along with conservation efforts, the Canada goose was able to make a comeback. And humanity and geese lived happily ever. Absolutely not. Yeah, the cobra chicken came back with a vengeance. I called the sparrow an airborne honey badger. Nah. It's this barcode of assault with wings. Easily the most undeserved arrogance I've ever seen on an animal. And that's really what it is. This damn velociraptor has some wildly irrational confidence. They're like Family Guy. They nearly got canceled, came back, and by God do they not miss a chance to punish us for it. Even Sully's heroic landing in the Hudson wouldn't have even been needed if a goose didn't try to run a fade with a plane. Just proof that you can get a lot of mileage at a false, unearned valor. Cause it's a bluff. Geese nest on the ground, so they only really can respond to a threat to minor safety by implementing the honey badger method, by raising hell until you meet someone that takes you there. Add the fact that they've managed to lose their fear of humans, and you have a honk-happy threat to national security. I've even read reports of them apparently luring...
I'm not gonna lie, if I was this dude in this situation and I've had a gun on me, that goose would have been so dead. Well, probably not, because I imagine that would be like some gun violation there or something, but you know... I'd definitely be thinking it. I'll be ready to bust a cap in it. I'd be putting it on a t-shirt and everything.
Of humans, and you have a honk-happy threat to national security. I've even read reports of them apparently luring chasing dogs into deep water just to attack and harass them until they eventually drown in exhaustion. To be fair, you could just leash your dog. Oh, also, goose tongue. But yeah, that attitude's a bluff, and they read body language, so act like you've been around a goose before and you'll probably be fine. So why are geese so mean? They'd probably be dead if they weren't, but at least they're not capable of really damaging anything but your pride. Complete opposite of chimpanzees, my word. Probably a top 3 crash out in nature, cause you really never know.
Jesus! Oh.
Chimpanzees, my word. Probably a top 3 crash out in nature, cause...
Damn. He got that accuracy, like damn.
You really never know what could set this chainsaw with thumbs off. Change your hairstyle for the first time in 10 years? Yeah, you just lost your face privileges.
Jeez.
Push one of your troop mates a little too far? Call it Kaizen the way you about to get your jutsu jumped. Do a f***ing barrel roll? Absolutely not. Not in these parts. Chimps and really primates in general have a sense of fairness. Do something they view as unfair? Oh buddy, you finna find out why they're the prime ministers of unproportional reactions. This man decided to surprise his former pet chimp with a chocolate cake for his birthday. The real surprise was 2 male chimps getting out and mutilating the man for not serving them a slice first. Jesus. I'm not gonna list the full extent of his injuries, I have a full video doing that. Just know, the first 2 hospitals denied him entry because they literally thought he was a lost cause. Jesus. Monkeys in captivity have also been known to mob a member of their own for receiving more food than the others. And when I was 8, a chimp temper tantrum nearly had me halfway to Helen Keller. Almost had me rocking the Nick Fury fit. And we cannot forget that time monkeys in India went on a campaign of dropping dogs from roofs after one allegedly attacked a baby of their own.
Oh, hell no, that... Well, okay, I guess I can understand if one of them attacked the baby of their own, but you're not pulling the dog dropping genocide here, nah, like that. Like, nah, you leave the dogs alone, or we're really gonna have a genocide here, alright? Well, a monkey genocide.
Yeah, primates are some Hall of Fame crash outs. Question is, what could possibly be more destructive? Well...
Oh.
Tigers are easily one of the most vengeful creatures alive.
Yeah, that's definitely something that could, and I'd definitely be more afraid of a tiger crash out than a monkey crash out. Because with a monkey crash out, I imagine, or primate, whatever, I imagine I would at least have a chance of, you know, coming out alive and everything, somewhat. But with the tiger, just get a t-shirt ready to put me on it, okay? Just have one ready.
And the moment this striped population control wants you dead, you might as well lease a casket. There's plenty of stories of tigers going from 0 to 1,000. In 2007, 3 teenagers that may or may not have been under the influence taunted 243-pound Tatiana the tiger, reportedly even pelting her with pine cones from a slingshot. Tati cleared a 12-foot mow, severely mauled 2 of the teens, and killed the third. In 2016, a tiger ripped apart an infamous poacher named Baby only 4 days after his group reportedly shot his mate. In 97, a hunter named Vladimir Markov not only shot a tiger, but had the audacity to steal his kill. As a result, the Whisker John Wick stalked his cabin, tore anything that smelled like him to shreds, including his mattress and bedding, and apparently even demolished an outhouse Markov had used. As you can guess, the story ended around the same time Vladdy did, once the Siberian assassin was there to greet him at his house. And then there's this. The backstory is that a mother tiger and her cubs had ventured beyond the boundaries of a park and had injured cattle in the process, so rangers went out to capture and relocate the trio. They successfully tranked and removed the cubs, but the mother was nowhere to be found. That was until about right here. The enraged
that's not a good thing. I imagine you would want to, you know, trank the mother first. Or at least I would want to do that, because it's like, animals already are super damn protective over their cubs, kids, whatever the fuck they're called, and it's like, I'd rather take out the mother first before we relocate the others, because at least that way we have less of a chance of getting mauled to death, like this video right here, like, oh, Christ.
Mother cleared a full-grown elephant and managed to mutilate the mahout riding, taking several fingers with her.
So I knew he was on some animal. I didn't know what it was, but damn elephant, and he managed to jump way the fuck up there. Christ.
And the fury on 4 legs was never seen again. But the most infamous big cat crashout came in the early 1900s, when a tiger dubbed the man-eater Champawat killed 436 people, giving her the highest human body count of any single animal. And it was discovered that the cause was a cripplingly debilitating tooth injury that forced her to go after easier prey. And that's the thing I do want to mention. I know I had fun with the crash out concept, but really all the tiger was ever guilty of doing was what came naturally. And that really goes for every animal on this list. Tatiana wouldn't have had to die and take someone's son with her if they hadn't gone and tested her killer. Travis was an overweight, socially stunted, Xanax-consuming time bomb that some woman decided to keep inside as a pet. Even the whole Elefino mess started with poachers destroying and fragmenting their families and probably giving the pachyderms PTSD. Like, I'll joke around and stuff for comedic effect, but I'm not actually out here judging animals by human standards. Cause he said something real before he got Chris rocked and left with Fresh Prince.
Talk about the tiger went crazy. That tiger ain't go crazy. That tiger went tiger.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother. There's no church in the wild and no judge in the jungle, so don't expect animals to follow either. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
I like how we ended it with that badger just dancing.
And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Or at least that's what it looks like. Oh, hell. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do in that situation because it's got... Oh, okay, it's protecting him, okay. Or at least that's what it looked like right there, yeah. Alright, well that was... that was something. Oh, man. Yeah, animal crashouts, not really something I'd want to be a part of. Yeah, because, pretty sure I already have to deal with that anytime my dog goes nuts. Because, well, I wouldn't exactly call it a crashout, but definitely sounds like one. Yeah. Or I guess you just call it stupidity, because she ends up doing some stupid shit whenever she goes nuts on accident. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it is one. I don't know. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. So if you enjoyed it, check out the original one, which will be linked in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.